When was the last time you encountered a stressful situation, and how did you respond? How did your response compare to some of the behaviors you see in the classroom? In this video series, you're being invited to shift your focus from why is this student behaving this way to how might I respond to this student and every student with compassion, connection, and empowerment. Imagine with me that you've stayed late at work, it's dark when you leave the building, and you're the only one there. As you make your way through the unlit parking lot, you suddenly hear alarming sounds behind you, heavy breathing and growling. You turn quickly and see, just a few feet behind you, an angry tiger. Try to imagine what you would feel, not just the emotion of fear, but what sensations would you experience in your body? When faced with danger, the brain quickly takes over. Heart rate and blood pressure elevate, the body conserves fluid as the mouth goes dry, and sweat glands activate to cool the skin. In fact, the brain is so efficient that a cascade of hormones activates even before the brain's visual centers have fully processed the danger. This enables us to jump out of the path of an oncoming vehicle without being fully aware of our actions. Ideally, our stress hormone system quickly returns to normal when the danger ends. In our last video, we looked at the original framework from the Adverse Childhood Experiences study, which includes these 10 categories. The stress response for young people who have lived with these experiences becomes impaired over time. Stress hormones take much longer to return to baseline and may spike quickly and out of proportion to mildly stressful situations. Dr. Dan Siegel, in his seminal book, The Whole Brain Child, describes the brain as a two-story house in which the downstairs brain is responsible for basic functions like breathing and blinking, for the fight or flight impulse, and for emotions like anger and fear. The upstairs brain is where analytical mental processes like imagining and planning happen. It's responsible for producing characteristics we hope to see in our students, including sound decision-making, control over emotions and body, empathy, and morality. When the upstairs brain is working well, the student can regulate emotions, think before acting, and consider consequences and others' feelings. However, Dr. Siegel explains that since the upstairs brain isn't fully mature until a person reaches mid-20s, young people's brains are under construction. In addition, when the amygdala, whose job is to quickly process and remain alert for threat, senses danger, it completely takes over the upstairs brain. In young people, the amygdala frequently fires up and blocks the connection between the upstairs and downstairs brain, as if a gate has been latched at the bottom of the stairs, making the upstairs brain inaccessible. So, not only is the upstairs brain under construction, but the part that can function becomes unavailable during moments of high emotion or stress. Adjusting our expectations can help us to see that students are often doing the best they can with the brain they have and to respond with compassion. The brain of a person who's lived through multiple adverse childhood experiences continues pumping out stress hormones to deal with real or imagined threats. This leads to a variety of problems, including sleep disturbances, headaches, unexplained pain, and oversensitivity to touch or sound. Feeling anxious, agitated, or shut down prevents such students from focusing and concentrating, both necessary conditions for learning. Having been frequently ignored or abandoned leads to clingy or needy behaviors, and they may define themselves as defective or worthless. These conditions lead to difficulty relating with peers and developing friendships. Because stress is often unrecognized or misinterpreted, students dealing with adversity and stress are frequently identified or mislabeled as having behavior problems, discipline issues, or learning disabilities. Trauma-responsive practices result from a recognition of the prevalence and impact of adverse experiences students may have lived through. We exercise compassion when we shift our thinking and ask, how might I respond to this student and every student with connection and empowerment? On the next video, we'll begin to examine trauma-responsive practices we can implement today. We'll see you then.